Ich weiß mal ein bisschen, ja.
Wir nehmen jetzt natürlich auch schon mit auf, logischerweise, weil jetzt...
What's he doing?
You're about to see the Bigfoot clip that stopped me cold, and trust me, that doesn't happen often. But this time, I've got more than just grainy footage. There's something waiting at number 1 that genuinely shook me, and I'm dying to know what you think. Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, skunk ape. Call it what you want. But whatever name you use, it doesn't change the fact that something is out there, lurking deep in the woods, hiding in the caves, keeping just far enough out of reach. A creature so elusive, some call it myth. But today, we're not chasing legends, we're following the trail. Let's see if we can finally catch a glimpse of the beast behind the mystery. Naturally, I first have to take a second to remind you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Your likes, comments, and shares help keep this channel alive. And trust me, we notice everyone. For those who've been around for a while now, thank you. And for those who are new here, welcome to the world where things that go bump in the night are actively sought out. To the place where believers get together to congregate without judgment. With that said, let's get into some of the strangest evidence I've come across in a hot minute. Let's start this off with one of the better quality photos out there, and it's coming at us from the great state of Oregon, probably one of the biggest hotspots for Bigfoot encounters in the US. I've mentioned the Rocky Mountain Sasquatch channel before, and why I genuinely like the group behind it. It's simply a place where Bigfoot sightings are collected, and they do a lot of the hard investigative work for us as far as verification on dates, locations, and people involved go. I'm usually not big on photographs, and it takes a lot to get me excited. But this one definitely stands out from the rest. Obviously, my eye was drawn to the long arms and forward-leaning posture first. But that's not what gets me all hot under the collar. It's the bulky proportions that are amazing. Most suits get the muscle tone all wrong. They just cannot fill up those muscly thighs and the bulky arms that a creature this size would need to operate. Suits hang off loosely, making the fake Bigfoot look flappy, skinny, and rakish. That's not what we have here at all. This one is more comparable to a gorilla with its overall muscle tone. But I know you guys, you're here for the videos, so let's get back to those. And no Bigfoot sighting is more believable than when there are multiple witnesses to corroborate it. Now is there? Which is exactly what we got in Tennessee, at Kingsman's Vault. And just to clear it up, no, the kid didn't throw the rock at the creature. It was tossed in the other direction. And if you think that these people aren't as excited about seeing a massive creature staring back at them as they should be, I think that they're about just as confused as I'd be at that moment.
Bigfoot. Do you see it? Look.
All of them, people and Sasquatch both, are kind of in this paused sense of befuddled stare-off, like no one seems to know exactly what to do or how to react. Pretty much how most people react when something completely unexplainable stares back at them. At first it's hard to make out, since the creature is deep in the trees, but one of the hikers later gets a better shot of it as it walks out of the cover of trees for a moment.
What's he doing?
And it's definitely taller than a human. That much we can say for sure. The arms also look longer. And if you've been around for my observations for a while, you'll know that that's usually where I look first. Humans have shorter arms in comparison to their legs, while other primates have arms the same length as their legs. This is a very interesting clip that's hard to dispute. Up next is so outrageous that I've rewatched more than any other clip I've shown so far. I'm speaking, of course, of Northern Ontario, Canada. The boaters who took the video have never before, or since, claimed to have seen anything unusual in the woods where they've hunted and fished their entire lives. So we're off to a good start already. Even though the clip is short, there's a lot we can take away from it. The coloring and the forward-leaning stance is all as it should be. The arms aren't just long, they're so lengthy that they would scrape the ground if it bends its knees even slightly. It also lifts its feet high enough that the soles of the feet are visible. And like all primates, the soles are light. and enormous. It's one of the few visual pieces of evidence that can corroborate the size of the prints in plaster casts and photographs we see so often, to the actual foot. Those kickers are bigger than Shaquille O'Neal's size 22 shoes, for goodness sakes. Just look at them. What I'm saying is, there's a lot of information in this short little clip, and I think it's the real thing, for all the right reasons. I can't spot anything to critique, can you? Unfortunately, I can't say the same for number 3. But if you're going to dive into anything Bigfoot related, it's best that you know what to look out for early in the game, to save you a lot of disappointment later. It's very different from my usual finds in the sense that it's a lesson on how to spot a fake. Outside of the physical attributes of the guy in a gorilla suit. I'm not gonna lie, this is some of the coolest fakes I've seen in my life, and it's so well done that it's not hard to imagine that it's real if you just suspend logic for a moment and appreciate it in the same way you would a good scary flick. Discount the obviously fake Bigfoot front and center for just a second and focus on the background footage. The original film was incredibly shaky, enough so that everything in the background is blurred and out of focus. Yet our furry forest dweller is crisp, clear, and there's barely a hint of the same distortion with the Bigfoot. Even the color quality is off compared to the background. These are two separate pieces of video. The edited one was simply pasted on top of old video camera footage. It's well done, I'll give it that much, but just know what to look for when looking at this kind of thing. If there's a discrepancy between the front and the back, or there's a blurry barrier around the pasted image, it's a dud. With that said, it's time to look at a clip where the irony is as funny as the background footage is disturbing. If you're liking this so far, don't forget to hit that like button. It keeps the hunt alive. The Carson River Resort in Markleeville, California, is another one of those Bigfoot hotspots, and they've got a sense of humor about it. Plenty of the campsites have signs up warning people about Bigfoot, or that these are Bigfoot breeding grounds and that sort of thing. They have so many reports coming in yearly of growls outside of tents, hulking beasts stomping through the trees, and all sorts of terrifying encounters that they've decided to lean into the lore rather than try to squash it. This guy, named Kenneth, sent it in after his daughter watched the video a few days after they'd packed up camp and went home. And I've got to give it to this kid, she's got sharp eyes. I almost missed it completely. First, you can only see the river that Kenneth's filming, but look way at the top, toward the tree line. See the hulking figure off in the distance? This thing is wide. At first I thought it was two people moving together, but it's definitely one solid creature. So as for the size, it's definitely comparable to what Bigfoot should look like. But then it throws us for an even bigger loop when it hooks its arm around a branch and pulls itself up one-handed into the canopy of the trees. I just wish it was a little closer, or that if only the quality had been a notch higher. This might have been the clip that changes everything. I have a feeling that this could have had the potential to change the world's perspective on Sasquatch. So far we've seen a whole lot of possible Bigfoot images. But have you heard one yet? Have a listen to this absolutely wild bit of audio. Alright, so this was taken by a team of Bigfoot hunters, already making me suspicious of the authenticity of it. But man, I just can't get over how insane this sounds, and it's identical to what witnesses have described in the past. It sounds mostly like a primate would, but then there are barks and yips and hoots thrown in there that completely throw your initial instincts off. It's crystal clear, There's no interference from other ambient sounds and no hitches or discernible stitches. I'm aware that audio is easier to fake than video, but for now, I can't find any red flags to disprove it just yet. Can you imagine hearing this in the middle of the night, though? It's utterly horrific, managing to be both chillingly haunting as well as hideously grotesque at the same time. Sometimes I've wondered if I should go out there and look for Sasquatch myself, and then I listen to something like this, and I realize that I'd die of fear if I were ever confronted with one in real life. I think it's best to leave the hunting for braver people than me. Whatever made that sound isn't something I want to mess with, out in the woods, where no one can hear me scream. And that's where I'll leave you for today. But you know me by now. There's still plenty to scoop out of the Bigfoot sighting pot, and I haven't even gotten started on the good stuff yet. So while I rifle through my ever-growing pile of footage, recordings, and strange accounts, drop me a line down below and tell me about the strange, the scary, and the downright bizarre things that interest you. I've got the time, and I've certainly got enough obsession behind me to bring all of your nightmares to life here on the creepiest corner of YouTube. And if you think that was wild, wait till you see what I'm working on next. See you soon. In the meantime, stay safe, stay vigilant, and always know that here, you're welcome to share your experiences. We're all believers too.